So I still stand by what is said, and that Princess Quest is the canon ending, right? And the Afton ending is not canon. Also, the Princess Quest 3 machine seems to be destroyed, which would kind of imply that it was done, like it was played. In Ruin, you collect comic strips. Each of these comic strips are drawn by Gregory and depict one of the game's endings. Each strip that you find eliminates an ending from being canon. The Afton ending is one of the comic strips. The true ending of FNAF Security Breach is the Princess Quest ending, the good ending. There is evidence of this from the sword sticking out of the Princess Quest 3 arcade in the Vanny hideout. Also the fact that Vanny, Gregory, and Glamrock Freddy are no longer in the Pizzaplex.
Something that I would have never expected. They made the comic book style drawings of all the security breach endings into the linchpin of the whole debate. Throughout Ruin, one of our main collectibles are comic strips. Comic strips depicting images from the base game's various endings. Comics that were created by none other than
one of Gregory's comics.
Each comic comes with a little descriptor like that. These look like Gregory drew them. Gregory should be an artist when he grows up. Gregory was always so creative. That last line about Gregory being creative, that tells me that these endings are all made up. They're just stories that Gregory imagined for his own little comic series, inspired by the scary, true-to-life events of the franchise. But if they're made up, then how do we know that the Princess Quest ending is real? Well, once you collect all of Gregory's comics, the answer is pretty obvious. Take a look at this. These two are from the Gregory Escapes ending. These two are from the VIP ending. These are from the Loading Dock ending. This one is from the Disassemble Vanny ending. And then, last but not least, is the Burn Trap ending panel. Seems like a pretty extensive list, right? Except there's one ending that's noticeably absent here: Princess Quest. There isn't a single comic strip in all of Ruin depicting that ending, implying that that one, unlike all the others, was real. And if you look around at the rest of Ruin with this in mind, you start to realize why. In the Princess Quest ending, you have to beat the Princess Quest 3 arcade machine that's in Vanny's hideout. But when you visit that same hideout in Ruin, you find the machine on its side, with the princess's lantern sitting on top of it. She has conquered the virus, lighting the way to freedom. And if the lantern wasn't obvious enough symbolism for you, when you put on the Vanny mask and enter the AR world, you'll see the sword from Princess Quest 2 and 3 plunged into the machine. The beast has been slain.
The body is found in Fazerblast, which is where he lies in both Vanny endings, which further confirms that one of those endings is true. Also, he is missing his head. In the good ending, you take off Freddy's head and take him with you and Vanessa when you leave the Pizzaplex. This would further confirm that the good ending is canon. It has prototype on its foot, and it's got the present in its stomach hatch. Now, Freddy did have a present in his stomach hatch, but the first thing we do as Gregory is take it in its Fazwatch, so it wouldn't be there anymore. Also, Freddy from Ruin is the only animatronic in that DLC that disappears completely when you put on the Vanny mask. So when you put on the Vanny mask, the Endos stay there. Chica is still there, right? Roxy is still there. If anything, Roxy's actually more there because it shows her, like, repaired. And Freddy is the only one who completely disappears when you put on the Vanny mask. Now at first, I thought this was because he was a prototype and maybe wasn't in the database for, like, you know, Fazbear Entertainment.
But it's unclear whether it's meant to be our Freddy from Security Breach or not. You see, this Freddy has the word prototype written across his foot, something that is definitely not present in the base game. He also has a green present hiding in his stomach, something that's awfully suspicious once you consider Security Breach started with Gregory taking an orange present out of Freddy's stomach. This can't possibly be the same robot then, right? This is one of the big debates that's captured the attention of the Faz base. If the Princess Quest ending is correct, then it kinda has to be the same Freddy. It would be very highly coincidental if not. As we pass most normal endoskeletons in the game, we see them wrapped in swirling pink code. This shows that they're connected to the network. They're being powered by the AI system in charge of the Pizzaplex. Unlike every other animatronic, when we put on the mask around Freddy, not only does he stop chasing us, he outright disappears. We can't see him anymore. And likewise, he can no longer see us. Why? What makes him so different? What is this trying to tell us? Well, if the Vanny mask jacks us into the Pizzaplex's AI system, his disappearance tells us that he's not a part of that system. He is not swirling in pink code because he's removed from the Pizzaplex's network.
But there is something else going on at this location. A spiritual battle between two rivals, Charlie and Elizabeth. Both trying to take control of the Pizzaplex. Both trying to make their respective father proud. Charlie is there to protect, while Elizabeth is there to corrupt.
That's why Tiger Rock's eyes are blue and green, Elizabeth and Charlie. And given everything that we just talked about today, I have no doubt that this is still very much the case.
Now I think that these costumes are the same ones that Phone Guy references in FNAF 3. He says that the Springlock suits have been retired and so replacement suits have been sent over from another location and that you should not question their relevancy or age or condition. And that would make sense for those ones that we see in Ruin, the relevancy makes no sense. It's like a lion, an elephant or something, and like another one that I just don't know what they are. And they don't really, you know, they don't look like any of the other animatronics that we've seen before. They also seem to be like they were supposed to be worn by a person and not by an animatronic, the way they're kind of bigger but not necessarily in pieces, you know, it's one big suit that it's wearing. So it seems like a person should be inside of it. So that's further evidence that, you know, people were supposed to wear these mascot suits in place of the Springlock suits because of how many accidents were happening.
Fazbear Entertainment goes to his abandoned home and reclaims all of their property. The mimic, the costumes, everything. Think this is only specific to the books? It's not. I suspect that we've been hearing about these costumes ever since Night 4 of FNAF 3.
Until replacements arrive, you will be expected to wear the temporary costumes provided to you. Keep in mind that they were found on very short notice, so questions about appropriateness/relevance should be deflected.
And he says, my friend has the maps for like the underground facility. Just listen to blank instructions, right? It statics over whether it's his or her instructions, right? It doesn't use the pronouns, so you don't know who Gregory is with, Vanessa or Freddy. But I think he's with both because the good ending is canon. But I think what it's talking about is Vanessa, because she would have more knowledge than Freddy would, because she had, you know, the underground. She was a security guard. She would know the maps. She and Gregory did go down there. Now, while I do think that Freddy might have the maps down there, he doesn't really seem to know that much of the Pizzaplex, in all honesty. You know, yeah, he cleared the path down to FNAF 6, but he might not have been able to go further down.
Gregory tells us his friend, presumably Vanessa, has these plans for the underground tunnels.
Gregory says that it's been down there a really long time, and, you know, a really long time to me doesn't seem like, you know, just a couple years or something. It seems like it would be like decades, and FNAF 6 did happen decades before the Pizzaplex was built, so to me, the Mimic has been around since like the FNAF 6 era.
But the Mimic, according to Gregory, was down there for a really long time, and I don't know how long he means by that. Normally, in, you know, whatever, biology, the deeper you go underground, the older things are, and since, you know, in Ruin, that's the deepest you ever go, because you go below the burn trap fight, and that's where the Mimic is.
Also know that these tunnels weren't just part of the FNAF 6 location, because the game makes it a point to show that we're a number of floors far below that building. It tells us that this location has to be older than the FNAF 6 pizzeria.
So pretty much since the start of Security Breach, or even before it came out, I was a strong believer in like the villain Elizabeth theory. Pretty much that she's the one behind everything and was the ones pulling the strings, you know, behind Security Breach, and there's like multiple, you know, fourth closet versions of her and all that stuff, and that she's just kind of the main antagonist at this point. So we all know the strong correlations with Charlie in the Pizzaplex, and it is only strengthened in Ruin, but what also emerges is the presence of Elizabeth Afton. In one room, there's a bunch of baby plushies that stay when you look at them, but then disappear when you look away. There's a chair in the corner of the room and a bunch of tally marks, almost as if she was in timeout. The mystery around Baby grows with the plushies, the golden baby plushie simply saying discontinued, and the normal plush baby entry saying, what's she doing here? Baby has found her way into the Pizzaplex, but is fighting Charlie for control.
Throughout Ruin, there are secret plush baby rooms where the dolls troll you, and a whole suite of plush baby AR collectibles that specifically call out how weird it is that these things are here. This is Fazbear, not circus babies. There is no reason to call out all of these parallels unless it is specifically to call our attention to circus baby. So anyway, in the meantime, remember my friends, it's all just a theory. A game theory! Thanks for watching!